You're listening to the Casting for Fun podcast, the show that talks about entertainment, sports, music, and inspirational stories for all to enjoy. We're glad you could join us today. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, here is your host, Albert Pineda.
Welcome, everybody, to the Casting for Fun podcast. I am your host, Albert Pineda, and this week's episode is going to be a very sports-centered episode. Returning to the show will be my good friends Nick Turner, Tom McNeil, and Tyler Ivancich. And we're also going to have a special treat that we're going to be joined briefly by Tom's son, Landon, who's going to share with us his soccer experiences, playing the game, his training regimen, everything like that. So it should be a really fun, cool conversation with him. And then with Nick, Tom, and Tyler, we just love getting together, chatting sports, talking about everything going on. We're going to do a very special tribute to Vin Scully, who meant so much to the citizens of Los Angeles who love the Dodgers. It's going to be a really cool tribute to him. And, of course, just chat everything sports. So looking forward to this episode, and it's going to be lots of fun. Quick correction. I had mentioned in the episode that there was a documentary about Mike Tyson, because there's been a lot of recent documentaries being released and produced. Technically, that show about Mike Tyson isn't a documentary. It's a miniseries. So, if you're interested in checking that out, please feel free. It's on Hulu. Lots of good stuff to watch on Hulu, both sports themselves and documentaries about sports, which is really cool. Okay, here we go. Let's jump into the episode. This is Casting for Fun with Tom, Nick, Tyler, and joining us briefly will be Landon. Returning to the Casting for Fun podcast to do some good sports talking with me are my good friends Nick Turner, Tyler Ivancich, Tom McNeil, and first time on the show, Landon McNeil. Gentlemen, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Very good. It's good to see everybody, and it's good. It's been too long. I feel like I've been neglecting sports as far as a talking point on my show goes, so we definitely need some more sports talk.
Why is Tom on the podcast then?
Very cool, man. Very cool.
I think we brought Landon on because he's probably got better advice than Tom does.
You hear that, Landon?
Very cool. Well, Landon, we wanted to ask you a couple of questions, get your opinion on sports, and actually ask you some soccer questions too before you have to sign off for tonight. So does that sound good?
Yeah.
Perfect. So your dad has sent us so many videos on YouTube. Well, I'm sorry, YouTube, rather on Facebook with your soccer skills. You got some mad skills, bro. It's good to see you practicing, hustling, getting out there. Just a few general questions for you, Landon. How did you develop a love for soccer? Like, why did you choose soccer as your sport?
My dad kind of introduced it to me and signed me up for a rec team when I was little, and then it clicked. And I liked it ever since.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, we definitely know your dad's a huge fan. I mean, we used to play soccer video games with him all the time, winning 11 and then moving on to FIFA. In fact, some of the games got kind of heated between two of the members of this podcast here.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool, man. Very
Something
cool.
like that.
Yeah, had to bring a whiteboard out because someone has a little dementia. 20s, 30s.
Very cool, man. Very cool. So Landon, what does your training regimen look like? I mean, generally, what are you doing specifically to hone your skills and to practice?
Me and my friend will go out and practice shooting, our first touch, we'll drill it at each other, and then we'll practice our first touch.
Oh, that's really important. Yeah, absolutely.
So tonight they did a drill where they pass it as hard as they can to each other, and they have they're inside a box and they have to receive the ball with their first touch, and the ball can't bounce outside the box, even though it's being fired at them as hard as they can, So just to be able to control the ball.
So it's important to learn because when you can see when you're playing in a game, the passes don't always come at you at the same speed. So you gotta almost have to be prepared for any type of pass that comes your way.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how's your team doing this year, Landon?
We're doing good. We qualified in our league in the top division, and we start next week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yep. Our last tournament, we We scored 20, I think like 26 goals, and we didn't give up one goal.
Oh, awesome.
So the boys did really well. And so a lot of teams do Labor Day tournaments, but we're giving the boys the weekend off so that they can kind of just rest and relax and then come back strong when the season starts.
Perfect. Very good. And what position do you play, Landon?
I play like left wing and a little bit of center defender.
Oh, okay.
What is your favorite position to play, Landon?
Probably left wing.
Yeah, we lost. So we had a kid that was the fastest kid on the field, and he was our center defender, and he was impossible to get past. And this poor kid, he started getting foot pains.
Ooh.
And he had some Achilles and heel issues to the point where he could where it like hurt to walk.
Ooh.
So he obviously he can't continue playing soccer. So Landon and a couple other kids fill in at center defender to kind of patch up that position and help in the back.
So Landon, who currently is your favorite soccer player?
Probably Messi, but I do like a couple other players.
Such as who?
Who else do you like?
I do like Jadon Sancho and Holland.
Who's your favorite club?
Probably Manchester United.
Your boy.
Him.
Very nice. Very nice.
I wonder why.
So really quick. So like when Landon was really little, like his first soccer team, there was a kid on the team named Charlie. And this kid, like, he was just lights out. And, you know, Landon would say, you know, why does Charlie score all the goals? And so we got to know Charlie. And Charlie's dad played on the Manchester United U19 team. And he's from England, and he was a phenomenal soccer player in his day. He got injured, and so he really can't play anymore. But Charlie went on and is now on the FC Dallas team here in Dallas, one of the top teams in DFW. And so we just trained with Charlie tonight. We still go train with Charlie, and Charlie's dad knows some really, really good drills, and he grinds these boys to the bone. But, you know, they know that iron sharpens iron, and 1v1s and you know, it's the only way to get better.
Awesome. Sounds great. So, and obviously you're having lots of fun playing, right, Landon?
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, buddy. It's nice to keep up the hobby of playing, you know, and if you get really good, I mean, who knows what the future holds for you, but you definitely got some great skill. So it's really exciting for me to see any of those videos that your dad posts on Facebook. It's always exciting and cool to see those stuff.
Yes, sir. Yesterday we scrimmaged an older team to help us get more physical. And so these kids were pretty good size older team too, pretty big kids. And on one of the plays, it was hilarious because this kid was like twice Landon's size. And like, you know, Landon's just like, it was like a post move, you know, he's like holding him up, and like all the parents were cheering on Landon, get him, Landon, get him. And this kid was like twice as big as him, but he stood his ground. He did a good job.
Sizes and everything.
I'll say it sounds like Messi.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
That's a good compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we ended up tying that older team 4-4. We were up 4-3, and in the last minute of the game, they scored a goal to tie it. But it was a good learning experience for the boys to get physical.
Oh, cool. Sounds good. Very cool. Anything else you want to share with us, Landon, about soccer or just sports in general?
Not really.
We just pre-ordered FIFA 23.
For what system?
PS5.
PS5.
Oh, you guys got a hand on the PS5. Congratulations. I've been looking, but it's been tough to find one.
Yeah, we actually went to Walmart and we told the lady, like, hey, can you just call us when you get one in? And so I couldn't believe it, but she called Susan like on a Sunday morning or something. And so we just like rushed over there before they were gone,
Oh, awesome.
Smart move.
Yeah.
They're never on the shelves.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Landon,
Well,
do you beat your dad at FIFA?
Probably not.
Uh,
I could maybe tie.
take it.
Very nice.
He would beat me at Fortnite, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Beat all of us.
Very cool. Well, I think they're implementing crossplay. So I think PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 could technically play together,
Yeah.
which would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Oh, and Xbox and PlayStation can play together.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. So we should definitely get it on again, play again. Last time I played your dad, he killed me. So I need to practice my skills.
No more excuses, Tyler.
Do we have to bring up the whiteboard? I just gotta find the picture. We had the whiteboard pictures. Like I was dropping more wins than you had goals.
You're breaking up. We can't hear you, bud.
And that's how you know it's true.
Very cool. So for good, Landon, thank you so much for joining us and chatting some sports with us. So looking forward to seeing your future soccer career, buddy.
Cool, man. You want to go play?
We'll see you later, buddy.
There, Landon.
Bye.
Hey, thanks, Landon. Thanks for coming on the show. Okay, gentlemen. So let's talk some sports, man. I'm really excited to get the crew back together to chat about sports, everything going on, anything else we want to talk about too. I guess when we get the four of us together, we can be talking Super Bowl, then all of a sudden the conversation shifts to like the Righteous Gemstones or something like that.
Oh, I love that. That sounds so good.
But the one sports topic I for sure wanted to cover was to do a tribute to Vin Scully. That obviously means a lot to so much of us Angelinos. We grew up here in the Southern California area. No matter what walk of life you're from, whether you're a tatted up gangbanger or like an old lady in like her 80s, if you love the Dodgers, you love Vinny. So
Yep.
very cool, man. Very cool. So just a few notes I wanted to share about Vin Scully. Then, of course, I mean, we can jump into any sports topic you guys want to talk about. I have a few in mind as well. So just a general conversation about sports like we do, Very cool. So Vin Scully, born November 29th, 1927 in the Bronx, and then grew up in the Washington Heights section of Manhattan. Tom, were those areas that you were familiar with? Is that close to where you served?
No, that was in the north. I was in the south. So, but I remember when I was little, I actually had a Brooklyn Dodgers hat, like an old school wool Brooklyn Dodgers hat.
Oh, nice.
When I was young, but yeah.
There you go, man. There you go. So I guess from the notes I was able to gather, he would go to games at the Polo Field in the Upper Manhattan area, which I guess technically was where the Giants were playing. So technically, I mean, he might have grown up a Giants fan. But
No, he did. He grew up a big Giants fan.
That's what I'm saying. He's from the north, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He's kind of tied to both teams.
Yeah, tied to both teams, which is kind of cool, And then after serving in the Navy, which is really cool, that he served in the Navy for 2 years. He began a broadcasting and journalistic career with the Fordham University in New York. So learning journalism while he was going to school. He was mentored greatly by Red Barber, who I guess from the notes what I've read, I mean, he's the one that kind of like instructed and taught him to be impartial, to not be a homer, as it were, because I get so tired of like listening to just broadcast.
You can just tell who scores by who's listening to all the broadcasts. But with Vin, it was not that way.
Yeah. There was an interview I read it was actually just from a few years ago from the, Dallas Morning Star News, something like that, where Vin was asked the question, like, what was the best advice you ever received for being a broadcaster? And basically his response was, Red Barber, who was like a second father to me, told me to come to every game as prepared as you possibly can be, and to not be afraid of silence, to use the crowd. Which again, you can look at so many of the classic calls that he's done, particularly Kirk Gibson's home run to win Game 1 of the '88 World Series. That there'll just be silence and you just hear the crowd roaring, and then Vin would just play off of that. So
Jackie Robinson too.
Yeah, oh yeah. So many. So it's kind of cool. Like you learn these things, and then if you go back and watch his old broadcasts, just look for those tales. Look for like those specific signs that he's using, which is almost like a lost art. You don't really see anybody else really doing it.
No. It's not the same.
Yeah.
I feel lucky that we grew up where we did, having Chick Hearn and Vin Scully. Like, as a kid, you didn't appreciate it or understand just how good they were.
Because we all grew up with them. Like we were all born when we heard them both in their peak. Like
that was just,
that's
you grew up with
growing
it.
in LA.
That was what was normal. or like baseline. And then as you get older and become an adult and talk to other people and you hear them talk about stories and like, oh yeah, heard about that, but even Vin, like how so many great calls in sports history. It's his voice.
It has ESPN done like a 30 for 30 or anything on him yet?
I don't think so, but I would be surprised if they do.
Like I
haven't heard of it.
I feel like it would be hard to fit in everything that he's done in such a short thing, but like I feel like it should be done,
No, they did one. I just looked it up. Looks like they did one on Fernando Nation, so he's in it because of course he's Vin. But I don't see that they've done one just on him.
There might be something coming soon. I mean, I was going to bring this up a little bit later, but it just in the past couple of weeks, there's been some really cool documentaries, which I want to get into with you guys on Hulu about various sports topics. So we'll definitely touch on that. But so Vin Scully passed away peacefully in his home in Hidden Hills on August 2nd, 2022, at the age of 96. So a long, full life is just pretty fascinating. I definitely would love for someone to come up with a really cool, detailed book and then just read about everything that he did.
Yeah, I think now that he's passed, we'll start to see see stuff come out about him that, while he's alive, you kind of don't want to do it all. But
yeah.
I hope that happens. I'm with you.
Very cool. Very cool. Anything else on Vin Scully?
For me, it was just that he never made the moments about himself. Like he always made the fan feel like they're part of the game. Like he's almost like a father figure. Trying to explain baseball to you for the first time, if that makes any sense, watching the games. That to me is what always makes so special. So if you need to know certain play calls or certain things that goes on, it's like watching football nowadays. Nowadays, you hear like Tony Romo tell you to play before it even happens. Then Scully's explaining to you as it's going on why it's happening this way, rather than say, "Oh, this is what's going to happen."
Yeah.
So he'd walk you through it. So if it's your first game, you'd have no problems watching it and trying to understand why it's going on.
Yeah, I would say I think what made him great, it's a lost art, but it's the downtime. Like all modern TV broadcasters, in between pitches, they talk stupid stuff sometimes, but they don't explain what's going on. Whereas Vinny, like the only downtime was when he wanted you to hear the crowd. Otherwise, he had just the most crazy stories, and you're like, oh, he's so old. He was alive. Like he called the game the last time there was one baseball that was used in the entire game.
Wow.
Right. And like he would randomly one game just tell that story. And I couldn't tell the details, but just in the middle of it, in between batters, like, oh yeah, foul ball. Yeah, there was one game in 1982 where they used one ball for the whole game, not a foul ball, home run. And that was the last time. It's like he just knew everything.
Yeah.
True greatness.
My grandpa was a huge Dodgers fan, and so he would watch, but he would always turn on the radio because he couldn't stand the the regular broadcaster if it was like a national game or something like that. And so he would always have Vin on the radio, and my grandpa was diehard. Like my dad would tell me, like sometimes we'd go over there and he'd be like, don't bring up the Dodgers. They're on a 3-game skid. He's really upset about it. Seriously, like it would wreck him for like a couple of days. He was such a diehard Dodgers fan. And my dad to this day, almost every time I see my dad's still rocking a brand new Dodgers set.
As I listen to you say that, I'm like, Chicken, I think Vin did it too. They started simulcasting where radio TV together. It was one.
Yeah.
So you got the radio version live on TV, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good they were.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else from Vinny, or are we ready to move on?
I think we're good.
I'm ready.
Okay, very cool. Well, rest in peace to Vin Scully. You'll never be forgotten. And as Dodger fans, we're eternally grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Anything in particular you guys wanted to discuss? I mean, again, I kind of wanted to keep it open conversation, and then we kind of just see where things go from there. But I had to have a few topics of a discussion for myself personally.
I got something.
Okay, go for it, Nick.
I know we're all Laker fans, but really I haven't followed for a couple years for many reasons. But what's everyone's opinion of LeBron on the Lakers?
Are we still no swearing?
Tell you what, Tyler, you can go. I mean, Landon's already left the podcast, and because this is going to be episode 37, so I mean, I'm much like versed and better at editing, so I can take some stuff out if I have.
Is that a beep you now?
I'm saying it looks like a mom and pop who doesn't know what the hell they're doing, and they're letting some little coworker run the whole store. Who's like, oh, I'm going to bring my buddies in. I'm like, why the hell is LeBron bringing so and so in who's just as old as him who can't run? And you got a GM who's trying to be buddy, saying the man is coming down from the ceiling because we signed KCP years ago.
Look, part of my take is like I don't watch basketball that much anymore. It's gotten boring. They don't play defense.
No, it's just running. It's
yeah, it's not that exciting anymore.
And that's why with a team when the average age is all right or close to our age, there's a problem.
So I'm going to go there then. This because, I've watched a bunch of videos on who's the greatest player, LeBron or Jordan.
Oh yeah, we talked about that in a previous episode. Yeah.
Does anyone think LeBron is close to Jordan? I don't even think he's close. I wouldn't put him above Kobe.
No, not at all. I think
we all watched them both play. So
I mean, I can appreciate how good he is. Obviously, he's on the tail end of his career, but I mean, it just never felt right with LeBron coming. He was always kind of like Kobe's nemesis. He was kind of the guy that was going to take over the NBA from Kobe, and then came Steph Curry.
I saw some posts today. Some meme is like he's not even the best player from Akron, Ohio. Steph Curry was born there.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
I was kind of in our group right before this happened. I was like, oh my God, this is too funny.
Wow. Yeah, I have a hard time watching the Lakers. I can't really do it anymore with him there. It's pretty sad.
I agree. I don't like watching.
I think I agree too. Like, I mean, the current product isn't really that great, as Tyler has eloquently put it. but I think what actually has kind of been interesting. I don't know if you guys have been checking it out on Hulu. They have a documentary series, Legacy, the true story of the Lakers. It's actually been pretty fascinating, pretty cool stuff. Like they've been covering the formation of Showtime, how Jerry Buss bought the team, everything going on with that. I want to say this documentary was done in response to the Winning Time show.
Did you
heard of that? Like,
did you see the Winning Time?
I haven't seen it myself, no, but I've heard.
Winning Time was good.
Is it good? Oh, okay, yeah. So what I've heard is that there's been several people who have been portrayed on the show who really dislike it.
Of course they do.
They don't like being portrayed an alcoholic or a hunger. They were
partying. Okay. Yeah. But so that makes sense. That makes sense. I kind of wish they could have called it Showtime, but I guess they had the legal ramifications with the Showtime network. So, but yeah, if you get a chance, check out Lakers Legacy on Hulu. It's actually been pretty cool, pretty fascinating stuff.
All right.
Very cool. Very cool. Any other topics you guys want to bring up now?
Have you guys seen the Welcome to Wrexham yet?
Oh, I wanted to bring that up too, because that's also been a Hulu documentary series.
It's something I want to see. I just know it's the guys from it's Mac from Sunny Philly bought him and
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds bought into the team.
I've seen the first episode.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I liked it. I'm going to continue to watch it. I thought it was pretty funny so far.
Yeah, so I Google searched it because I watched it and everything. And then this past weekend, I get a notification on my phone, like I'm getting the score from the Wrexham game going on, which was kind of cool. I was like, oh, but where's it on TV? I can't watch it.
No way.
It's gonna help improve their fan base for sure. Who knows by how many, but it's got to.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating to see that, So he talked about it on the show that Rob McElhenney, I have a hard time saying his name. It's not easy like Charlie Day.
Just call him Mac. We all know who
Let's
he
call him
is.
Mac.
Yeah, let's just call him Mac.
So I guess Mac had been introduced by the concept of like soccer from like one of the writers from another show he does on Apple TV, the Mystic Quest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's where they're doing the video game. Is that the video game they were doing?
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, they're like making a video game. It's like World of Warcraft.
So I guess he was just explaining it to him that that there's a lot of similarities between Wrexham and Philadelphia, just a blue collar worker city. Like it really appealed to Mac, and he needed the funding. So he reached out to Ryan Reynolds, who's got the superhero money, as he put it. So it was kind of fascinating to see. And then when they put it up to the fans voting, I mean, the fans were unanimous. Hey, we like you guys. We want you to buy the team. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. And then if they can actually move up in the ranks, because it's crazy to think that they're like the third oldest professional sports team, but they play in 4th division English soccer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a D League
At best.
way down there.
Single A baseball.
Right. It's
not even double or triple A.
Yeah.
Well, I'll watch it
No,
for sure.
Yeah. One more documentary series that's also been on Hulu. I haven't seen it myself, but apparently they're doing a documentary series on Mike Tyson, which is pretty interesting. I think throwing a little boxing in there too.
Yeah, some of the guys, I was at a poker night last night and they were talking about that, and I don't know. I feel like I would have a hard time watching that because I kind of like Mike, and I know it's gonna talk about some of the colorful parts of his past,
Yeah.
And
It's all true. It's true. He did some.
oh yeah, Mike did some really bad things,
Right.
but I don't even think I'll watch that one because I just feel like it's gonna paint him in a bad light, and he seems like he's kind of changed his life for the most part.
I mean, Tom, you're a Raiders fan, so this should just be like,
this is up your alley.
like this is easy.
This-
Just a Wednesday for the Raiders.
Just yeah, win, baby.
Yeah.
No, but the Tyson story, since we're on it, it's interesting. I loved Mike, and he was the bad boy, and like little kid. Don't look up to Mike. He's a bad guy. Yeah, he was coked out of his mind, doing just so many drugs, but the dude was just a bad A. But look who was around him. He's around a bunch.
He's a street fighter.
Right.
Was
But
it?
even what's his name? His promoter, Don King. Like
Yeah.
that was like they were all mafia. Like it was around the mafia. So he had to be a bad dude in that sport. And there's PR to it and other stuff, but mainly it's the drugs. Now he's like peaceful.
Flying pigeons around.
Now he just, smokes pot all day and flies pigeons.
Except for that, plane incident where he knocked that dude out in the plane.
I don't know, the guy kind of had it coming, but don't mess with Mike.
I don't think anyone's gonna argue with that one.
No.
When I heard about it, I was like, oh, that's not good. Then I watched the video and I was like, man, what are you supposed to do? Like, where's the attendance coming up to?
Where's the guy next to him saying, "Hey, you're an idiot. Don't do that"?
Tyler, what? Tyler, that plaque behind you we can't really see it very well. Is that your Brittany Griner plaque?
That's a Ricky Henderson, Shaq, and Larry Bird, all autographed.
Oh,
By the way,
we
I just
tell.
want to point out, Tom was the first one that knew a WNBA player. I thought the league had already gone away.
How did it fell?
Yeah. Does someone watch it? Can we name any other player than Brittany Griner? Can anyone who's active
No.
name another player?
Yeah, you have to throw in
WNBA?
active because I mean.
I just saw some stat the other day. Like, was that LeBron makes like 34 million the whole league, and the WNBA makes like 10.
By the way, Bill Burr has the bet. Has anyone seen his recent comedy routine on that? How women
did,
failed
yeah.
the WNBA? Because look, we
I
got
saw
guy
that.
sports to
Bill
watch.
Burr's
Like,
hilarious.
why didn't all the feminists start watching it? They said they needed it. Nope. Because they'd rather watch women throw champagne on each other and fight, pull hair. It's a great routine.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, so definitely check out those documentaries on Hulu when you get a chance. You got pretty good stuff. And then, of course, I mean, The Last Dance was excellent. I mean, I think that was
Yeah.
Netflix as well. But lots of really cool sports stuff to watch.
I'll say a good sports documentary that's really pretty funny was the Manti Te'o one on Netflix.
I haven't watched it yet. It looks
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It's
Is it
actually
like
it's really well done, and you kind of feel bad for him because how almost innocent and naive he is.
You don't want to believe it. I think I remember when it happened, and that was
Because even when
like
you
that was a
listen to the
conversation.
voice-
Like that can't be true. There's no way he fell for it. But
but I'm
you
saying
can look back and go like, no. Like
there's things that
totally.
like, he had a cousin that literally said he met the girl. He knows who that is. And so like he posted the voicemails. It sounds like a chick. He went on Dr. Phil, went behind the screen with one of those dudes, and it sounds like a chick.
I remember even the person that did it was interviewed, and they were like, "Yeah, we just like they died from cancer was because they felt bad. They wanted
That
an
was
out.
me.
They didn't realize it was
Yeah,
that would make the story bigger. It was just like, hey, I feel like I'm trying to end this. Like it's gone too far, so I got to make this fake person die. How do you do that?
and brings it back to life.
is the Teo documentary just like a 2-hour thing or an hour thing?
It's 2 1-hour episodes.
Okay.
Like the first episode is like an hour and 4 minutes, and the second one's like straight up to 1 hour.
It still makes me laugh.
It just makes me every time I like you just see at the end like all the memes like going at it. It's like showing the memes about him, like him, his fake girlfriend. When you're drafted in San Diego and it's in the city newspapers making fun of you.
Look, but now I look back and go, that guy's got some natties, man. He faced it all, like.
No. And it kind of goes over into that at the very end about the demons he had to face and like why his NFL career turned out the way it did.
Right? Yeah. That wouldn't be easy for anyone.
No.
So that sucks, though. It's like when Tyler, told us he was straight.
Wow.
It's hard to believe, but I guess it's true.
like just for you telling us you have a stall dude being a ginger.
Exactly.
That's why you shaved the beard off. Came clean.
Thank you. Yes.
I appreciate the shaved beard trying to like fake your ginger.
It's still there. It's not all the way gone.
Dude, that's white hair. It's not red.
Oh. Okay. Whatever you say.
Very nice. Very nice. Any other documentaries to check out, or you want to move on to some more current sports?
We can go to current sports.
Okay.
Wait, no, you know what? I would just say
Go ahead, Nick.
random stuff on YouTube. They're not so much documentaries, but like that. I think I sent you guys in the past that Jordan versus LeBron video. I love watching people react to it every once in a while. Like there's not a lot of great stuff, but there is some good stuff fans have put together. Just that's out there. So
very cool. Very cool. Definitely should check out that. Dodger talk. The Dodgers are playing great. It's just awesome that yes, we do have a team that's doing fantastic. Great to watch and play or see. 88 and 38 their record right now, the best in baseball, and on pace to have another 100 win season for sure, which is really, really cool and exciting. Mookie Betts leading the team in home runs. Trey Turner leading the team in RBIs. So team's looking really good, really, really exciting.
Those Turners, got to keep an eye on them.
Watch out for those gingers.
Exactly. They win championships.
Nice. They did hit a bit of a roadblock this past week with Walker Buehler going out with Tommy John surgery.
But he hasn't pitched since June though, or June or July. He's been out for a while.
Yeah. So he'll be done the rest of the season, and they're saying even next season too.
That just sucks for the playoffs, really, knowing you'd have that arm in there, hopefully healthy at the time.
He got made within the same right after Walker went down. So May's back.
Kershaw's supposed to be coming back too, it looks like. I guess he had an assignment this past weekend, just a practice assignment. So looking pretty good. I think he'll be returning hopefully pretty soon.
Yeah.
I also saw the other day that the Dodgers are probably going to beat the record for their run differential. So most runs scored over runs against.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I saw that. I'm like, oh. Like right now, if I remember right, the Dodgers were, was it 3 something? Their records would be close to mid fours. Like the Dodgers have a good shot at doing it.
Yeah.
All right, now I got a question. So, I hate to admit it, but living in Texas now, the time difference, games don't start until 9:10
10 o'clock.
my time.
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock here. It's 10 o'clock your time. or 10 o'clock your time, or 9.
9 o'clock over here. So sometimes I get to watch an inning or two, but staying up that late and finish the game, so I don't get to see it. I just get every morning. Google tells me the score the night before. So I don't have that. Like I'm not there watching it like you, Albert.
Uh-huh.
Like, so I'm curious, what's your confidence level as far as winning a title this year? Do you feel confident? And I know there's many variables, but just the way the team plays, are you confident? Like, all right, we're going to the World Series this year. Will we win it? Like, there's 2 levels to that. Or are you like, well, it is hard to get there, period, no matter how good you are.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like, we can get there, but like, where you at as a local fan on your confidence or just what you're feeling, like the team in general getting there? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, I'm feeling good, really good, just on what the team is doing. But I had to admit, I don't necessarily pay attention too much to the other teams that are also playing well. Like I know the Dodgers are about to have a series against the Mets, and they've been one of the better National League teams.
Right.
Then the Astros aren't too far behind the Dodgers for the overall record. So I mean, you can't count them out either. But that being said, I mean, like Tyler mentioned, I mean, the offense has just been so great. So
it's win ever since Vin passed. The Dodgers have also, for the most part, been on a tear. So it sounds like there's a win for Vin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That could help. You know, I mean,
saying, like in the back of my mind.
Heck yeah.
Because even when it happened, it was during a Giants game, and the Giants didn't want to put on the board because they didn't want to help motivate the Dodgers.
Right.
Like I live up here in Northern California, and I'm surrounded by Giants and A's fans, and they're all saying we're scared of you guys because they'll win for them.
Right. I just, for me on the outside, I'm like, just Robert sometimes in the playoffs, his calls.
But he doesn't make calls. He gets told what to do.
Hey, I have a question, man, because like I just pulled up the payrolls, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
It just feels like that. I mean, hey, I'm happy to be a Dodgers fan and everything, but like it just feels a little cheap to me because of the payroll differential. Like they're buying the World Series. You know what I mean?
Okay, wait, but the Yankees didn't do that in the 90s?
The Yankees were doing the exact same thing.
I'm a Dodgers fan. Let's do it.
No, I'm just saying, like I agree.
When you look at like Houston's payroll is almost half of ours, but they compete. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, when you cheat, it's easy.
Yeah, we need hit the trash can.
I mean, you can say that. I mean, there's teams too. There's other teams with high payrolls that aren't doing as well as the Dodgers, but like, there's a lot of teams that are just like 100 million versus 207 million, like double.
Wait for the Mets because now you got Cohen as the Mets owner. He's got more money. Like they had to take him out of the stock market because the dude was like rigging the stuff.
That's crazy.
Now, look, from like, I get what you're saying. I agree because I go back to the Yankees, like Steinbrenner. He just put the money out. I remember being an LA fan going like, we're one of the top MLB markets in the nation. Why can't we get that talent? Like
he owns the Yes Network. So the Yes Network was their back deal. But now the Yankees recently bought the Yes Network back, and that's why they're slowly building their payroll back up.
No, but I'm just going back to the point of, look, the best players cost money. That's sports. That's why some sports have caps, but.
Does baseball not have a cap at all?
I thought they have a floor, not a ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I mean, you get it. You got to pay more. Like tickets are less. Now, one of the great things about the Dodgers when the Yankees were winning, like a Dodger game was affordable for a family because they didn't have that high salary. And now it's more expensive because, all right, fans, if you want a better team, you have to pay more money for tickets to bring in those players. It's a trade-off.
Well, they should just do it. They should just do it the way the Cowboys do it. They're terrible, and the ticket prices are still high.
No, so remember years ago was the Florida Marlins?
They're just like 500 every year. They're just about 500.
There was I don't remember what year it was, where the Marlins were the most profitable team in the MLB, but they had the worst record, and they didn't have great attendance. But the way, like on the business side, the way they structured it with their players, like Yeah, they didn't have any great players, but with the amount of fans that came, they made more money than the Yankees or more profit. So profit doesn't mean championship. And I want championships as a fan.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not looking at the owner making money. I'm looking at, hey, if I'm paying money to you, I want to win. That's what's going to put me in the seats. So, like, it's interesting. There'll be times, every team, we just finally have a ownership group with money that will spend it. But there'll be a time, and that could be next year, the year after, where they go, all right, we kind of blew a lot of money. How many championships did we get? Let's dial it back. Like, we need to make some money again. That's all part of the business of the sport. So
Strawberry started doing that this last offseason with Seegers. They literally let him walk.
did they let him, or I thought he didn't want to come back?
No, they basically let him walk, and that's when it freed up money to get Freeman. So it's like
Gotcha.
we're doing trade-offs.
Right.
Hey, I don't know how much time we got left, but real quick,
Yeah.
Albert, I wanted to shift gears and talk some LA Galaxy.
Oh, good. That was one of my talking points for.
They were up 2-0 earlier, I believe, right?
They were, yeah.
Tyler, change the channel from the WNBA playoffs. The Galaxy are on, dude.
I didn't know there was WNBA playoffs. I thought we was talking about how the Kansas City.
That's true, Tom. How did you know there were playoffs going
How did
on?
this playoffs going on?
Why? Because ESPN puts it right on the front now.
Wow.
Very funny, man. Very cool. I talked about it with you briefly that, so I'm excited about their new signing, Ricky Puig. And I mentioned to you before, it's so confusing to me so he spells his name like Yasiel Puig did for the Dodgers, but you pronounce it Puig. So I don't know. I'm going to probably go back and forth between Puig and Puig, but this guy comes with a high ceiling of talent. I mean, free transfer from Barcelona. He assisted on the goal. I didn't actually see it. I heard that they're still winning 2-0 right now, but
Yeah.
so, I mean, I'm hoping, if you bring up the subject earlier about having high payrolls, but not necessarily winning. That's what kind of been the Galaxy's problem since Bruce Arena left. I mean, they had Zlatan tearing it up on the offensive end, but yet they would just give up every goal that he scores. So hopefully that they can, fix things around. And with this new signing, I'm really excited to watch him play. I think he's going to be a great player, Ricky Puig. And looks like they got him locked down for a couple of years too. So, I mean, if he does well, he can reestablish his value, probably find another European team. But in the meantime, just tear up MLS while you're here, while you're young. So
Nice. Yeah, I started enjoying the Galaxy again. I texted my buddy who's big time Mexico fan, and there's not many, or I shouldn't say there aren't any other than Chicharito that I've rooted for over the years, but I always felt like he always played the game the right way. He works hard like Rooney. He played for both United and Real Madrid, and just a stud player,
Yeah, I was really excited when they announced that they had signed him. So, I mean, I'm hoping that I don't know if they'll be able to be competitive this year, but it's crazy with MLS. If you can just make the playoffs, like almost any team can win. So,
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens this year. But they're looking like they can make a good run this last couple of weeks before the season ends.
For sure.
It would be nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's close it out with some NFL talk.
There we go.
Very cool. Very cool. So since the last time we talked about the Super Bowl, I mean, we have there's been, I guess, maybe been some news going on with the NFL outside stuff.
A little bit.
I think it's better to maybe focus on the infield product, unless you guys want to talk about the outside stuff too. But
Ooh,
we can do a whole episode on that.
Joe Rogan, his podcast is pretty interesting.
Likelihood of the Rams repeating this year. I know it's really, really tough for NFL teams.
Okay, go ahead.
I like them going
Broncos were the last team to do it, right? Back in the 90s.
Who?
The Broncos were they the last team to win back.
Yeah, Broncos are the last one to back to back.
Yeah. So
I think they're the best chance of the NFC to make it, but I think the AFC is so tough.
Yeah.
It's just tough in general to win back to back in any sport.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many times does a team win in the next season? It's like, they look good on paper still, but like the guys won, like they're not taking it as seriously because they got that ring, they got that contract. It's time to think about their career, their longevity, their next paycheck. making sure they're there. You just don't know like who on the team is going to go down that road, you know? So that's why I think one of the reasons it's just so hard to predict, no matter who it is or what team. So I'd say it's 50-50. I mean, we'll see, like every year, injuries, who knows what'll happen. But
Any
I mean,
particular players that you guys are excited to see this coming season, regardless of team?
yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Colin Kaepernick this season. Here he's going to start.
I thought the Niners got Kaepernick 2.0. That's what he throws. I'm just waiting to wear pick socks.
No, but let's just go there. What about the news that the Raiders passed on Brady? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, John Gruden passed on Brady. Didn't want him.
Look, I love Gruden, and part of me is like, well, Brady's old. He's still great, but is that kind of where you want to put your future of a team if you're trying to build something? I don't know. I don't necessarily think it was the worst decision to say no. Like, how many seasons will you have with him to get that right fit and build around him? And
that's why I think he took that for sure. He's like, I got this guy. I know what he is. So I heard Brady and Gronk were supposed to come, was the deal.
Right. Once again.
And Gronk's got his arms and backs are all messed up. So who knows what Gronk was going to do. And there's no guarantee how they're going to do in Vegas.
Right.
That's why I think he's like, hey, I know we have the Sure and Carr. I know what he is. He's about a top 12 quarterback. Brady, we don't know.
It's, you know, I love Gronk. I know he analyzes everything from his old ESPN shows, you know, when he wasn't coaching or Gruden. So I'm like, he had to have a reason. If he thought he could win, I think he would have done it. But
I just think he took the stats saying no quarterback since Tarkanian that ever really made it to this age and kept at that level.
Right.
So there's going to be a day that they're all expecting, you fall the cliff.
Look, it's like when Manning went to the Broncos, though. I was like, ooh, I mean, that worked out.
He threw he goes 104 touchdowns the first 1 year, and the next year can barely get past the 50-yard line.
No, right. So it's like, which guy are you going to get? Like that old in the career?
Dude, I think
you know, it's tough.
I hope Brady gets one more, dude. I hope he wins this and goes out with the dub and another Super Bowl, man. I'm a huge Brady fan.
Just to piss off the world.
Yeah, dude. I love it, dude. Like, he hasn't even been there during preseason. He's just barely coming back.
Took 11 days off.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, he's just such a stud, dude, such a winner. And you know, I guess he changed the coach or whatever. So I don't know what's gonna happen there, but I'm a fan too. I became a fan when I won my fantasy football championship with him multiple times. But that's when I started really paying attention to him. So, but I'm like, he's got that Brett Favre mentality where, like, I think it's time. I think it was time. Go out on top. Do something that most athletes can't. Solidify your spot as the greatest and don't come back. But it's like Favre talked about how he looks back and, you know, I played too long. It cost me and my body and time with family, and like, you didn't have it all. Like, it's time to let the younger guys step up. But that's my question. Like, I feel like there's no good young quarterbacks in the league. There's no young Tom Brady's, young Peyton Manning's, just tearing up the game. Dude, Justin Abert's pretty good, dude. He's that San Diego QB, man. That kid is good.
LA now, man.
I like Allen.
Or Chargers, you meant?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like Herbert, Chargers. But I like Josh Allen. He's turning up in Buffalo.
Yeah, there's a couple, but we'll see if they can be consistent.
That's what I mean. Like, you can't do it one.
But I think part of
year
why he keeps staying it, like, he's got the chip on his shoulder. He's picked 199. He's kind of always got, I got to prove it mentality.
Yeah.
Like, he's still trying to prove that it was him, not Belichick. Like, he's showing that he was the system. Like, Belichick was a losing head coach before him, like on the verge of getting fired with having an all core Bledsoe as his quarterback. still almost getting fired, and let alone Brady comes in to save him. Like, it's still having to prove that he is the man.
But if that's what it takes, then
No, that's what exactly.
then
That's
do
why
it.
he's saying. That's what he's doing. And that's why at his age, he's still plugging away.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Like, I watch less NFL because it's more political than just sport. I'll still say it. Like, I just want to see guys go out and run into each other. And the rule changes still every year now. It's like, ugh, that's a flag. Like,
They're realizing that the money is in the players. And so you'd rather have their best product on the field is not having them in hospital or on IR. So they're trying to protect their players.
yeah, but football has always been kind of our version of the gladiators. Like, they died.
We can go in the whole episode on NFL Blitz, that video game, how that blew that all up.
Oh, that was a great game.
I know. I'm not.
No, I just think, like, it feels like all sports. I'll say it. All sports seem to be like, it's not about the game anymore. It's about other stuff.
Well, protect the player and the players on the back of the jerseys.
Look, I don't want my favorite players to get hurt, but you're grown men running into each other at full speed. Like, that's always been the game.
But they're going into CT and the other stuff and the head traumas.
No, I'm still surprised. Like, we can't improve the helmets. There's other things. I think the NFL's got some problems.
No,
in particular.
Just in the past few years, they've had a couple of different models as far as upgraded helmets. But the problem is it takes so long to get it patented.
But once again, it's like boxing. Like, hey, you're gonna take blows to the head for your career, and you're gonna hope that there's no damage. But we all know if you go into boxing or UFC or anything, you're getting concussions. Soccer, you can get concussions in soccer still.
But Mayweather never did. Because he'd be dodging.
I know, but that's still the risk. So I'm like, look, we know the risk. I do agree. Have you guys seen it? It wasn't a documentary, but there's a push to just lower in practice contact. Mm-hmm. Like, that you do less contact in practice, like physical hard contact. And that's helping a lot, I believe, mentally with guys. That it's not that it's just that there's contact, but it's sustained contact every day, day after day in practice. And it's like, hey, whoa, if we can limit this serious trauma to the brain during the week. So I know there's been a push to kind of, and certain high schools and other teams have done that. Like, they still have contact. It's just not as dangerous contact.
I know they've been wearing those like padded helmets during the summer and preseasons, and they talk about wearing them partially during the season or during the weekdays. Basically, test on the brain how it's functioning, all these other stuff. But I don't know if it's actually going to help protect them and show how to protect it. It's just.
So I think it's interesting in human behavior. Like, when you're younger and you're playing sports, like, the guys get concussions and don't tell their coach because they don't want to come out of the game. Like, there's that human element that, okay, we got to teach people, like, it's not worth it in the long run. But as athletes, like, we've all been injured and not, Kobe popped his shoulder out and thought he could play left-handed. Like, no, I don't need to come out. There's just that mentality that professional athletes have of, I'll sacrifice everything, including my body. And it really is a sacrifice. I'm for the education of it and, like, just know about the potential effects. But for those that don't want to risk it, go to another sport. Those that are willing to, go run into each other full speed. Anyway, it's my rant.
Excellent points, man. It's really, really good stuff, man. Really good. Anything else with the NFL or any other talking points for tonight?
I'm just ready for football to start officially.
Yeah,
I've been watching it. It's not as political as other sports like basketball are. They try to keep it somewhat mainstream, but I hear what Nick was saying earlier about it, where it's gone political, but it's not as bad as it was a couple of years ago.
It's not as bad now, but overnight that could change. Yeah. So, the Raiders signed Kaepernick and there you go.
No one's even watch him anymore. Like, they had a couple walks and he's done.
They go, well, definitely one of my all-time favorite things to do is just sit down on the TV, watch sports, and have junk food, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
And then baseball playoffs coming up soon. MLS playoffs, hoping the Galaxy can make a push. Good time for sports. Of course, there's never a bad time for sports, but it's nice that the dog days of summer are kind of over, and now we're moving into the fall. So.
Now, before we go, so Aaron Rodgers was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I haven't watched it yet. I've just seen a couple clips to go a little, like you said, Albert, not so much on the field sports, but have you guys heard anything about it?
I saw a couple things. I saw that he tried to say the whole vaccine thing. He tried to throw people for a curveball. Well, he didn't say he's vaccinated. He's saying immunized, whatever he's trying to say. He's like, I was just throwing everyone for a curveball. I was like,
I would say listen. Like that's the one part I listened to, and it was quite interesting. I'd say hear it for yourself. I still want to listen to the whole thing, but yeah, it was quite interesting. There might be some hypocrisy, he points out.
There is.
Very cool. Yeah, definitely have to check that out. Joe Rogan's on Spotify, right?
Yep.
He's got pretty much every podcast platform he's on.
He's one of the top ones, right?
Yeah.
He is the top one, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. I know for a while, Adam Carolla, I think, was one of the top ones, but
that was many years ago, if I remember right.
Yeah. So
there's also, I think, the number 2.
We'll see.
The number 2 podcast is the Casting for Fun podcast on Spotify.
Nice.
Oh, what?
Very cool. I'll take number 2. I'm happy with that. Okay. So any other talking points before we wrap up for tonight?
No, good.
I mean, I feel like there's so many things we could talk about that we could go on for hours as always. Just
yeah.
We could start talking FIFA again or Blitz or.
Oh yeah, just getting together, reminisce about old times would be kind of fun. Even like there was that one time I did an episode with Nick. I don't know if you guys have heard it, Tom and Tyler, that we just came with pre established stories, but I didn't know what he was going to bring up. He didn't know what I was going to bring up. It was almost just like a natural flowing conversation.
Oh, nice.
That was actually kind of fun. It was pretty cool. So we can probably do something like that too.
We can do something like that.
Very nice.
Hey, we should do a podcast where Tyler comes out of the closet.
And we're going to do a podcast when Nick decides to get his soul back.
If that's even possible.
Wow, that's also very true.
Yes.
Or we can do an episode where Tom finds his brain back and from having dementia, and remember all those CTE problems from his football days.
You're breaking up, Tyler. We can't hear you.
What, Tom? You play football?
Oh, I do have a question. I thought of something.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Nick. Go for it.
Have you been to Dodger Stadium this season?
I've been twice. Yeah, the renovations look really cool.
So
nice.
I'm curious about the pavilion because I went 2 years ago, but they hadn't redone the pavilion yet at that time, if I remember right. Did you sit in the pavilion, like that whole back area? Like the rest of the stadium was great, but I'm like, we always grew up sitting in the pavilion. So I'm just curious what it's like over there now. I know they have, like, in one way I feel bad.
That's Chololandia, man. What are you talking about?
I know, but I grew up there. So, for those that don't know, Left Field Pavilion, my parents were at the game where the fight started in the 70s, where they stopped selling alcohol in the pavilion.
Oh, yeah. You're still under Raider Nation.
Yeah, until McCourt took over in the 2000s and was like, "Oh, we're losing money. Like, it's been 30 years. Let's give it another try."
Now with the whole facelift that the stadium's gone through, it's very like family friendly. Like, there's like play area for the kids. I mean, TVs everywhere, so you can
just. Brian Dallas, what's his name? Dallas sit there now. The guy, the old Giants fan. Would he be fine?
Who?
Who was that guy who like 20 years ago decided to throw stuff at Raider fans? The old Giants fan from Fresno.
Oh, you mean like outside of the stadium when
I remember
the guy died? No, like someone died.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. I don't.
Yeah, I just remember he was trying to start a fight with some Raider fans.
Yeah, that was dumb. Dodger fans, they got some problems. Some of them, as Tom said, Chololandia.
I do like how the accessibility of the stadium works out now. I mean, you can essentially go wherever you want. You can go wherever you want for food. The food option's really great too. So I think it's more pleasant to really, not to say that it was ever unpleasant, but I can understand people's reservations before. But it's definitely a really cool environment. The stadium looks fantastic. So yeah, whenever you make your way back to LA, definitely check out a game.
No, that's we didn't work. They were out of town last time I was in town, so
Oh, okay.
wasn't able to go last year. But even when I go to like the Texas Stadium here, I always ask for a Dodger dog. They look at me. I'm like, what? You don't have it? It's better.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, there's nothing else. We'll go ahead and sign off for tonight. But Nick, Tom, Tyler, thank you so much for joining me. And thanks for chatting sports. I love doing this. And we'll do this again much sooner than last time. Get everyone together and just talk and have a good time.
Let's do it.
For sure.
Okay, thanks everyone. You've been listening to the Casting for Fun podcast. Have a good night.